Okay, everybody, I'm back. Platform number 2 tonight. Something is in retrograde because I've been having challenges with a camera and a boom mic, and recently had to go get a new camera and a new boom mic. So got those set up and then had a little bit of trouble getting that to sync with the internet. So I was trying to do my old style, which is doing it from my laptop. And apparently that didn't work either. So I'm going to ask you for a few thumbs up and see if everybody can actually hear now. Just let me know if you can hear me. If we finally, yes, thank you, Pamela. We finally got it. So big hugs and kisses to all my beautiful, wonderful fans. I so much appreciate you being patient with me. Let's see here. Okay. So thank you. So I'm trying, or actually I'm thank you all so much. Thank you. So what I'm desiring to do in my business is up level it. And so I had a camera and I had a boom mic, and we were getting a lot of echoes and the lips weren't syncing to the audio. So this last weekend, I invested about 8 hours trying to figure out what was going on because I was so tired of it. And I found out that the camera I had actually wasn't working with the boom mic that I had. So I now have a brand new camera and the boom mic is working perfectly. And so today I didn't want to test it because I'd like to do this mediumship in real time and for you all to hear and for us to be really engaged. So I uninstalled the Facebook app on my laptop and reinstalled it because it wasn't working, and I thought we had thumbs up, everything to go, and then we go live and not so much. So old school cell phone. Anyway, thank you each and every one of you for joining me tonight. Big hugs and kisses. So here are the changes that are happening at Tools of Energy Protection. We would do every Tuesday night an energy shift update where I would tell you what was happening with energies and how they were shifting and how to help yourself. And if any of you missed out on that, if you go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and you click over to YouTube or just type my name into YouTube, you're going to find a lot of those. You're going to find a lot of those old videos. So you can, if you're not familiar with my work already, you know what those look like. And I shared a lot of things, and then towards the end, before I started sharing, hi Jessica, I started sharing different tools you can use, what stones you can use, what dietary changes to take. And it's a lot of work to produce that. So in order to be better service to you and to myself, I decided that it would be a really good idea if we changed the platform over to a subscription so that I can give you more details and I can be a better service to you. So the exciting news is that I'm now on Vimeo on demand, and you can play it on Roku as well. So if you go to Vimeo on demand /Energy Shift Forecast, you're going to find that brand new platform, and I'm so super stoked. And in the upper right hand side, if you click on subscription, what that means is that I will publish every single Monday, no later than Monday, on that platform. And hi Jen, and I will when you go on Vimeo on demand, on the right hand side, if you click all, every time I post a new one for that month, you will automatically receive it for free and a notification for free. But if you want to buy them just one at a time, that's great. And I'm so super excited because 47 people actually went over and got my energy shift forecast this last week. I was so touched. So for those of you that are watching that went over and got the forecast for this week, and I'm going to attempt to get them out earlier than Monday, I wanted to know if any of you are still having trouble with chakra number 2 and how it is going working with the orange aventurine. because those are two of the tools that I shared on that Monday forecast and how that works and how that will help you during this time to transition over to what's happening now. Hi, Anna. And it's a hard time. So very quickly, what's happening with the energy shift is it seems like things are going so much faster than they used to. I'm so much busier and productive, I should say, than I used to be. The clients are flying in, and it's wonderful. The programs are building. The new content that I'm bringing is amazing. And I will be releasing a date, if everything goes right, by Friday for a new program where we're going to talk about sociopaths, narcissists, and psychopaths and how they affect highly sensitive people. And I'm here for you during the holidays, so I'm going to roll out one of these each week at least to help you to get ready for the holidays. So if you have those kind of people in your life, you're going to be able to join me live. So it'll come out in two different ways. One, I will announce it, of course, on all of my social media and here on Facebook, and give you an opportunity to sign up for the class, or if you want to call it a webinar or a seminar, whatever you want to call it. And it will be approximately 30, 45 minutes, and it'll be live, and I will have a Zoom platform, and when you buy the ticket, you'll get an invitation there, and join me, and we will talk about highly sensitive and empathic people and how narcissists play into that, and you'll be very interested to learn how a narcissist, a sociopath, and a psychopath are related to empaths. There's a relationship between those, and it's kind of scary, but it's exciting because it gives you more understanding. Anyway, so thank you for joining me. And tonight I did promise to do a live mediumship. So let's get that started, because I don't want you to think this is a giant infomercial, but I was excited about the new changes here at toolsofenergyprotection.com, and it's just super, super excited. Okay. I did have one person here joining, asking me, can you please explain the retrograde to me that everybody's talking about? Yes, Dominic, big hugs and kisses. I will get to that if I don't, remind me. But right at the moment, I did promise tonight to do a free medium reading, and at least two of you. So what I'm going to do, how this works, I'll get my book over here, is I'm going to ask, I can already feel the beings coming out, and if you guys, gals and guys, can see the goose pimples on me, that's usually when the spirit beings are being allowed to be near me by my guides. And let's see here. All right. So I'm going to ask at this time, if you are watching this video later and somebody that pops in connects with you, that's fine. Oftentimes when I'm doing the readings, like I did on Halloween at For Heaven's Sakes Books, it was so cool. Disembodied spirits or ghosts or relatives will come in, and then what would happen is sometimes the disembodied spirits will come in, and then when they're done talking, they'll roll over to another one, and I don't always know the shift there. So I'm going to ask that everybody that's on the live broadcast and everybody that's watching later, the angels and forces of light, would surround us all and keep us safe. And I'm getting some huge goose pimples. And I'm going to ask now, this is how you participate. So I'm going to ask the spirits to come and start talking to me. And then once they do, I'm going to begin to describe them and what they're saying. And if you feel like this is you, just put it in feed, this is me, this is me. And if there's questions. And that's how this works. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so there's a 14-year-old male that's stepping forward. He's super, super cold. He was very unwilling to accept change. He says his death wasn't a suicide, but it was a tragic accident. If anybody can identify with this 15-year-old male, I feel like he died long enough ago that His mom is probably in her late 40s, early 50s. Anybody on the live can relate to this. Just, you can put it in the feed. What I'm hearing is, I'm sorry that I left so soon. Seems like he has a little sister as well. Okay. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Judy is watching. Judy, can you, if you're still on the broadcast, can you pop up and say hi? I know there's a little lag time on here, but okay, hi Judy. Okay, Judy, what I'm getting very strongly is there's a father figure coming through for you. Is your father deceased? Okay, what he's saying is that he's proud of you for what you've been doing. He's proud of you for the direction that you've given your son. He's talking about a dog, some sort of a dog. It's not one that you have now, but it's one you had. I feel like it's like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. He's also talking about investment income. So if you aren't already have investments like, owning properties or something like that, that's what he's suggesting, that he wants you to have investment property. He said an investment income within the next 5 years is going to help you in your retirement. Okay, he's stepping back. And then Missy, if you're still on with me tonight, can you put in the feed that hi, so I know you're still with me? Yeah, hi Missy. Okay, so I'm getting like goose pimples upon goose pimples for you. And let me see if I can. There's a deceased wife here. So this isn't your wife, but it's somebody that you knew, a friend who's identifying herself as a wife. It feels like she was a wife and a mother, and it feels like that she committed suicide. And I don't feel like it was a gun or pills or alcohol. I feel like it was a slow suicide. So like she had anorexia or she didn't eat well. She's saying that you know her husband still. She says she worries about him. That she's trying to act as his angel. Missy, do you have a sister that's passed or somebody that you felt like was a close, like a family, friend family that's a sister? Could you let me know in the feed, please? Okay, Missy, I'm not seeing you pop up there yet. Okay, so Missy says she's an only child. Missy, do you have a girlfriend, maybe from high school that's passed, that you felt like was a sister? Because this woman, or maybe if you have a husband, his sister, because this woman is coming through very strongly and identifying that she is somehow family and related to you. And I'm getting like total goose pimples, so I'm waiting for you to reply in the feed there, Missy. So none of this relates to you. No girlfriends. Okay. All right. Hopefully you'll think about it later. Maybe think about a girlfriend who was close to you at one time and feeling like a sister. You're saying you have no idea. Okay. Is there anybody else? Missy, I'm sorry if this isn't you. It's coming through so strong and I'm getting goose pimples. So I know this woman is valid, maybe just not for you. Is there anybody else watching tonight that had or has a sister or somebody who feels very close like a sister who left her husband, no kids behind? If not, I'm just going to move on. Could be a disembodied that somebody let in. Hi, Tracy. Okay, Missy, is there anybody that you would like to talk to? Could you just like type their first name or their relationship to you in the feed? And we'll ask that person to come forward since this one wasn't a match for you at the moment. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, Missy, Violet. Okay, great, thank you. So I'm going to ask that the angels and forces of light take all the disembodieds or those that have crossed over back so that Violet can come through. Okay, Violet said that she's proud of you, and I said we could say that about anybody. But she said when she left this world, she was very angry. Like she didn't really want to go. There was just complications. She's saying there was complications with her heart, and then she points to her ribs. So something under her rib cage, I don't know if enough anatomy of what's in there wasn't functioning well. She says she talks to you at night. So if like right before you sleep, you think you hear somebody call your name, that would be her. She says she didn't want to scare you, but she also says she has a very distinct perfume, and that when she's in the room and kind of passes by you, it wafts and you smell it. She says sometimes you don't smell it because you're cooking pasta, and she's very specific about cooking pasta. Missy, if you can let me know if any of that matches for you. Or if I have a hole and I'm just getting random people in here. Oh, okay, so totally that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Missy. Heart attack and binding her ribs when she broke them, right? Okay, great, Missy. Thank you so much. But she does say she is proud of you, and she was angry. So keep up cooking the pasta. Just know that she's near. She's showing me like a cooking pot. It looks like silver cooking pot, but the boiling, typical stereotypical boiling water, and a lot of steam. Just a lot of steam coming up. And that's when she's most likely to be around. Although she says you cook less pasta these days because you don't have as many hungry kiddos wanting pasta. So that's kind of funny. All right, she's stepping back. And I am going to... Okay, so I'm going to ask for the room, not you all, not the live bodies, to be cleared. All right, and then I'm going to ask if, let's see here. Wow, thanks for sharing, Missy. I'm sorry about that. All right, so then I'm going to ask somebody else requested for their nephew, Anthony. to come through. And if you would, if somebody here is looking for someone, if you just put a name or something in the feed, I'll get to it as soon as I can. I got lots of folks that you all can't see. It'd be nice if they would like manifest themselves where you could see them. I don't think that's happening. Let's see here. Okay, Anthony, and it's T.L. Randolph. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name. So if you could type your first name in there. Who's looking to connect with nephew Anthony. Because that, okay, whoever, okay, there, Tanya, thank you, Tanya, bless you, Tanya, okay, so Tanya, you were asking me to connect with Anthony, and Anthony feels like, when I connected with Anthony, your nephew, it feels like his neck was broken. So I'm not sure how his life was ended, but that's how it feels, like his neck is being thrown back. Tanya, could you put down here in the feed if your nephew, how he passed? I'm getting that he didn't choose to leave. So I don't know if it was an accident or somebody helped him go. But it wasn't his like purpose to leave. But what I hear him saying is that okay, yes, she says suicide. He says that we need to talk. So Tanya, if you feel so drawn to reach out to me, he's wanting to talk to you more privately. And he hasn't crossed over yet, so when we meet, we can go ahead and do that. We can get him crossed over and going home, or he's in a better place. But he says he'd prefer to be more private. And then I see him wink, and he says, "You're my favorite auntie." He's funny. And he's talking something about a girlfriend that he had. That kind of thing. So I'm going to ask him to step back. So Tanya, reach out to me when you're ready. Okay. Now, let's see. Who else do we have here? Okay, just looking in the feed here and see who I have. Okay, Brandy, I'm asking for your aunt to come forward. I get no. I get cousin Dan. I get yes. He's a very forceful personality. He's like a force to be reckoned with. Although, Brandy, he said that he was more of a person to, he feels conflicted because he feels like this really big, huge person, but he also feels like he pulls away and he's kind of a small person. So I'm not sure what that means. I hope that resonates with you. And then I hear him in my head say something about the military and ha, 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 ha. But it doesn't feel like he was in the military. It feels like it has something to do with you and the relationship to the military. And then he's laughing. Ah, thank you. He was very quiet but opinionated. Thank you. Okay, let's see what I've got here. Okay. He knows. All right, so I'm going to have him step back. He is quite insistent about talking and speaking with you. He says he has a lot to say also, but not on a public platform. And Brandy, I know that you have access to many folks like myself, so if you decide that you want to get his message, just reach out to one of us. A ring, Brandy says. What about a ring? He's saying no about the ring. I'm not sure what that means. If you want to give me a comment there, Brandy, and let me know when the feed catches up with itself, what kind of a ring, or what do you mean about a ring? Because he's not being very forthcoming. He says something about misplacing it. But he's being funny. So Brandy, he's teasing, and he's saying a ring, and then he points to his hand like a ring, and then he points to his neck like a ring, like ring around the collar kind of thing from the, I just dated myself. Then he's talking about some sort of a ring or a brotherhood for a future. That never happened. Okay. So he's quite the jokester because you're saying it's a ring on the hand. So it sounds like he would have been a person that would play on words, have double entendres, that kind of thing. He's pretty funny. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do one more, simply because it does take a lot of energy to do mediumship. So for those of you that are uninitiated to mediumship, when I'm doing it, not only am I balancing my own energies, but then my angels are keeping, the people that want to talk to me, out of my energy field so that I can be a clear channel. But it does require a lot of energy to talk to these folks and hear them, because when you talk to me, if you put your hand down here in your voice box and you talk, then you feel that vibration. And so when disembodied spirits, depending on whether they're still here or whether they've gone to the other side, you have to listen for that vibration so you can give a voice to the voiceless. And it does take a lot of energy. So I want to do one more person. And then we'll just stop with that. And okay, just before I do the last person, I wanted to share with you all that again with the and then I did promise to do a little energy shift update, so let me do that. So somebody was asking me about the retrogrades and what that's doing on the energy shifts. And so again, for those of you that are used to me doing the energy shift update every Tuesday here on Facebook Live, I've now moved those to a forecast. So instead of an update, it's a forecast. So if you want to know what's going to happen the week before, what stones to use, what foods to eat, what essential oils will help you to move through that space and time, plus some other, tidbits and tools, then I'm going to ask you to join me on video on demand /energy shift forecast. And you can either purchase one at a time and see if you like it, or you can purchase those for a month. We'll put this on Tools of Energy Protection later on the top, so you can click on it if you need help with that link. And then you can get the forecast, and then Tuesday I'll pop on and I'll see how everybody's doing and what you're struggling with. And after I know what you're struggling with, then we'll talk about it a little bit on here. But my intent now for Terrific Tuesdays is to talk about mediumship, to talk about people's angels and guides. That's what I'm doing next week. How do you know your guides are there? How do you know your angels? How do you hear them? And so each week I want to devote it more to be of service to you, to educate you, to let you know how things look and work. But the energy shift will still be available, and the updates will still be here. It'll just be smaller, okay? And so if you go over and check that out, I did have quite a few people, I was so surprised this week, that clicked on it and looked at the energy shift forecast. And so that's spectacular. And I thank each and every one of you for that. Like I said, I've been doing that forecast for about 4 years, totally free, no charge. But because my desire is to support the community and get more information out there, I wanted to switch it to a platform where it could be of more service to more folks. So I hope you'll take the time to go over there. I do have an energy shift on that page that you can click on. That's a free video so you can see what it's like. And then underneath that will be the current forecast going forward. All right. And then if everything works out right this week, I'm going to release a webinar or a seminar, if you want, on a Zoom platform about psychopaths, narcissists, and sociopaths and how they're related to empaths. There's a relationship there. They're kind of cousins, which is weird, but that's where it's at. So if you'll tune in, and I'll, of course, make the announcement here on Facebook and all my other platforms when that's going to be and how you can sign up. So, somebody had asked me earlier. Let's see. Please give me a moment. I'm looking in the feed here. Somebody had asked me earlier about the retrograde. They wanted to know about the retrograde because apparently I was doing the energy shift update at the beginning and they were saying, could you please, here it is, Dominique, I hope you're still with us. Can you please explain this retrograde to me? Everyone is talking about. Okay, Dominique. So very quickly, there are planets that surround the Earth. And those planets, as they move, according to our position on the Earth, looking at them, they look like they've flipped in another direction, or sometimes they look stationary. And what that affects is the frequency on the planet. And a lot of times, astrologers will tell you not to sign any new contracts. They tell you that your electronics go wonky. And what it does, it affects the magnetism on the planet. And so when that happens, it affects our biological, physical bodies. And it affects things like computer laptops, like I found out tonight. Even after uninstalling Facebook app and reinstalling it, it still didn't want to give me sound. So that's what they're talking about, and it has a tendency to frustrate people. Even though I had a good day today, I was frustrated by a lot of setbacks, and that's normal during a retrograde period because it makes your mind think differently. It causes things to fall, in placement in time. And Dominique, if that's not enough of an explanation, please private message me here on Facebook, and I will get back to you. And then for all of those of you that join me tonight, I'm going to do one more reading. And I really appreciate each and every one of you joining me. I will be doing this mediumship type thing on Terrific Tuesdays, and I will announce it, and it'll be about every 3 to 4 weeks as people want to come back. And if you go now, well, not right this minute, but if you would like to have a one-to-one personal session with me and do a mediumship, I did put some special pricing on my online appointment book. So if you go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on book appointments, or appointments and sessions, I think it says, and click on buy now, it'll take you over to my appointment book, and you can select a 1-hour appointment. I have them open for this coming up Thursday. And the discount code is the word medium. And that will give you about 10% off the session price. And I wanted to put that out there for those of you that joined me as a thank you. So if you'd like to click over there, again, the discount code is medium, all lowercase. And that will give you a discount for when you check out. Okay, so now let's go back to see who, I'm going to pick out one more person here. Okay. So I was asking for Jan. Looks like Jan, if you're still with me. You asked to speak to Eddie or Cindy. And I feel like Cindy is stepping forward. If you're still with me, can you say hi or something in the chat so I know you're still with me? Because she is stepping forward. She feels she's crossed over, but as she's coming back, she's putting on the mask of, who she was before, because once they cross over, they're, happier and all that stuff. But she's telling me that it feels like a forced relationship. So I'm not sure the two people that you wanted to speak to what their relationship was, but she's stepping forward. She's saying forced relationship. So I'm not sure how that works for you. If you could just let me know, Jan, if you understand that. She's also talking about cakes, like, you know, eating cakes, but they seem smaller. So she feels like she's like from the 1950s. Okay, cousins, okay. But she feels like that she's from the 1950s, and she keeps talking about little cakes, and it almost reminds me of when we used to take muffin pans and put cornbread mix in there and just make little cakes. So I'm hoping that that makes sense to you. I see yes down there. She's really super cold. So when she's entering my energy field, she's super, super cold. So that means to me that either she died when it was very cold outside, snowy, wintry, or she was very angry when she died, because anger will often come through for me as cold chills. So if that makes sense to you, Jan, can you just tell me yes again? And then Candace, are you still on? Candace, if you can, you're talking about, I think, your dad here. Yeah, okay, yes, she was angry. Jan says, yes, she's angry. Okay. Well, just know, Jan, that she is on the other side. And she's in a place of love, and if you will, she's saying redemption. I don't particularly like that word, but that's what she's saying, Jan. She's in a place of redemption. She says she loves you very much. She said, they took her leg when they took her leg when she asked not to. Oh, diabetic. Gotcha. Jan, she says that you were her favorite, and then she kind of giggles a little bit. And she tells me she doesn't come back here to visit much, but when she does, she tugs at the covers on your bed. And she's in your dreams. And she says sometimes you recognize her and sometimes you don't. So I'm going to ask her to step back. And again, for those of you that would like to have a private one-to-one mediumship with me, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on sessions, and type in, it'll be a 1-hour session. It's under For Heaven's Sakes. It's on Friday for an hour. And I will put this in my latest blog so you can have a clear path to get there. And I put a discount code of medium on there, and it will give you like a 10% discount. So I will put that link up in my blog, and I'll put it down here in the Facebook feed. So if you're on later, you'll be able to find it. But it's toolsofenergyprotection.com sessions. Click on buy now. I think it says or book now. And then look for the 1 hour For Heaven's Sakes appointment slot. It'll be for Thursday, and I'll give you a discount. Oh, good. Jan says she can identify with all that. Good. You are welcome. Okay, so Candace, okay, so I'm going to ask them to step back, and my angels to close that avenue. And then Candace, for whatever reason, I just wanted to do a couple more because it is, like I said, exhausting, but the guides told me that I needed to do this for you. They're like, go do this, gal. So you say your dad, Patrick? Okay. So Candace, your question is, does he know where the $600 went the day he passed away? Okay, Candace. When people die, when they leave the human body and they go into spirit, especially if they cross over and go home, they don't really have much concern with the cares of this world like money. And I know that can be really disappointing. I've had a lot of folks that will contact me and about, where did the money go? Where was the will left? And most of the time they just don't talk about that. I don't know why. It just is. But I will ask your dad if he can come forward and talk to me a little bit. Okay, I don't know, Candace, if he was an extremely hard man or if he's being funny. But he's he's saying he's not proud of what you're doing right now. So I don't know if he's teasing you or not, because sometimes they like to tease. If you can let me know. And then he's saying something about college and the choices he made. So he's asking you to make different choices than he made. So if that makes sense to you, Candace, can you just say yes, please, or okay, or something? He's kind of a brusque individual and like given that tough dude like exterior, but he's got a heart of gold. He's so kind on the inside. Does that make sense to you, Candace? If you're still watching, let me know. Let me know if that makes sense to you. I hope that didn't offend you, because sometimes they say things and I never know if they're kidding or not. Sometimes they tease. Okay. I'm not seeing you come back and talk to me, Candace. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend you. I do promise to tell you what I hear. Oh, there she is. Okay, thank you, Candace. She says he had family drama and it broke my heart. My dad is funny. He didn't go to college and tried. Okay. Yes, he's tough, but he has a heart of gold. Good. Thank you, Candace. I'm so glad that you could identify with that. That is awesome that that he was funny. So that would tell me that he may be wanting you to go to college. And I know those can be costly ventures, so sometimes we have to look for alternate means to do that. So anyway, that is it. And I thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight and then letting me talk a little bit about what's going on in my world at the beginning. And please do reach out to me if you'd like to have a private mediumship. I know it's so helpful during the holidays for people to be able to talk to deceased loved ones. And I would love to get with you one-to-one. I do have a private office in Loveland. I do appointments like this. I do have a private platform called Zoom, so you could have 6 different family members from all over the U.S. get on at the same time, and we can do it that way. And I'm at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver on Thursday and the 2nd and 4th Friday of the month. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. And stay tuned because it's so exciting. We have the Energy Shift forecast that comes out the week before. We have these little updates. Next week, I'm going to be talking about guardian angels and guides. And then I also promise to be here for you for the holidays because it can be a tough time, especially with families. And so I am putting together a little webinar that I will post in all of the platforms so everybody knows when it is. And we'll get together and talk about narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, how they affect empaths and highly sensitive people, and how those two are related, and how you can put up boundaries over the holiday season to keep yourself healthy and safe, and you don't feel drained all the time from all those family members. And so I'll be putting that on. But you are welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Big hugs and kisses to everyone. And I hope you have a great and wonderful night. And please, if anybody that you know needs some help with this, share the video. All right, I love you all. Have a great and wonderful night. If you're just now joining me, I will post this right back up on Facebook so you can watch the replay. Have a great night.